ads-on design, graphic design, and advertising. And I'm Michael's left or right hand.
As long as Sophia is here, you're my left hand, okay? Then you become my right hand the day that she will depart.
I do his banners and all designs you see around.
Yeah.
Today I have two questions for you. Let's go to the first one. Out of your experience, do you believe that a company's social media post should only be about their business?
Excellent question. Let me ask a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you believe it should be only about their business? What do you think, Doros?
No, but I want to hear your opinion as well.
We have the exact same opinion. No, it shouldn't be only about their business. And there is a reason it's called social media. We need to be social. As you can see, now we have the on-air mentoring with the banners you designed, which is about giving back advice, in this case complimentary. If you can get people to benefit in a way through your post, then you will win as well. So it's not about having, it's not about selling or advertising, because most people think when they post, and I'm not talking about you because you don't think like this to ask the question, they think about advertising their business, they think about advertising their services, and they don't think social, they only think media. So we need to be social. And I would say that the answer to your question is no, it shouldn't be about their business, and it should have different posts on perhaps different days. If you want me to elaborate on that, I can, but let me see what your second question is, and maybe I have a feeling I will elaborate on the second question.
That was a nice answer. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Let's go to the second one. What other posts do you suggest to have, and how to convince clients to upload posts that are not related to their business?
Okay, great follow-up question. First of all, Doros, you don't need to convince clients. You need to convince a client. If you convince a client about uploading other types of posts, which I'm going to go into in just a little while, then you can show results and you can showcase that client as a shining example of how that particular client managed to listen to your opinion as the designer, as a trusted advisor, and has managed to uplift his business, I don't know, and his reach or her reach by doing other kinds of posts. What kinds of posts? Let me say that talking to a very good friend of mine, Thalis Panagidis, he once told me something that really resonated with me. Not once, many times, but that's the thing he said. One day, Michael, he told me, we're not going to be looking at websites advertising milk. We're going to be looking at websites advertising the cow that produces the milk. And the cow will have a name, and the cow will graze on grass that has been corn-fed for 30 years. There needs to be a story behind it. And I have a feeling that the best way to promote your products and your services and your expertise, Doros, is to have a variation in your posts. So you have a bright example. I think I'm one of your most loyal customers. So use this as an example, and you can do better than that. You can share more posts. You can show, and I know you are very humble, and I know you find it hard many times to do it, but everything you see here, the banner is yours, for example. So show people what you do, show your work. Sometimes you can come and interview Michael Virardi and ask him, Michael, how's the experience of working with ads-on designs and with Doros? So maybe you can have a 2-minute interview and you can show that interview. Let other people talk about your work, not only your work, talk about your work.
Great, I'll do that.
Okay, and in our case, we start with a live show every Monday and every Friday. It's all about the people, giving them information, giving them ideas. Then we have Questions Wednesday, where we pose a question and we get people to interact. Don't try to sell to people. Try to get people to interact with you. It's not about boasting. It's not about begging. It's not about looking bigger, but it's about building relationships. So that's what posts should be all about.
Great.
Thank you, Doros. I hope I have answered your questions.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Sophia, what do we have next, or who do we have next?
Next up is Savia. I will give her the speech now.
Thank you, Sofia. Savia, welcome to the On Air Mentoring.
Thank you for having me. It's good to finally connect.
It's a pleasure. We've connected on LinkedIn, but we never spoke in person, so I'm so happy to have you.
Just in comments and just online. So it's great to be here. By the way, I loved Doro's questions and your answer as well. It's something that actually in my company, I've been thinking of kind of changing our social media and making it more interactive and more providing more kind of virtual kind of live support or questions from actual customers or people who are not customers, just to kind of get out there and be more authentic rather than just putting out the brand, because up to now I haven't.
Can you tell us what do you do, Savia, so
yes,
our audience
sorry.
will know?
I am the owner of Cube Beauty Lounge, so it's a salon in Nicosia. I've been over 10 years, but I've never used any sort of content in the sense of that's not related to the business, which is what Doros mentioned. And I think it's important, especially in these times, to be more connected and more authentic. So I love that. My question today, Michael, is in regards to leadership and how people now during COVID, they've had a lot of time to reflect on what they're doing with their life and how they're spending. And I'm noticing through clientele and through friends and even my own staff that a lot of people are looking to just change. They want to change what they're doing. Like I have people who don't want to be lawyers anymore. You know, in the wake of all this, they've realized that they want to spend their time or the rest of their time doing something different. And as a manager or a mentor, you know, how would you nurture that? I think it's important to nurture it. Like I have staff who have left because they wanted to study something else, or so how would you nurture that as a leader and not kind of, even though if you're going to lose staff, I think it is important to nurture and help them grow, whether it's within the business or something that's going to eventually take them away.
Excellent question, Savia. And I would say that you should nurture it, or you should handle it exactly as you would have handled a situation in your own home. Get your spouse to open up. Create a safe environment for them to speak up. From your tone of voice and the way you come across, I find it that it will be very easy for you as a leader, as a manager, as a person, as a professional, to get people to open up. I feel comfortable just talking to you, and I'm talking to you for the first time ever. It's something that has to do with your aura, with your tone of voice. So as leaders, we need to get them to open up and create a safe environment. We shouldn't judge them, but we should listen carefully. And then we should be very adaptable and with our model. The younger generation, millennials, they're not in like the older generation, the 9-to-5 model, where they would spend their whole life in one company, stay in that company forever, and work from 9 to 5 and then start their lives. Now with COVID, we have seen other models. I mean, this show is taking place on the web. Some people connected from Lausanne, others from Nicosia, from Limassol, and the next person is connecting from London. So we do have the flexibility to work with a hybrid model, for example. And companies like Microsoft and other big companies are changing their model, and they're dividing it into 3. Those that will come every day, those that will come no days at all, and those that will come 3 days a week. So listening to your people and providing a safe environment might give you ideas on how to run your business going forward in this era. And at the end of the day, whoever wants to walk away, whoever has reflected that they need another path, the only thing you can do is wish them farewell and hope they succeed. Because if they do, and you are a kind and nice person, then you will be proud that they have come through your own channel to succeed in another field or somewhere else. So that's my 50 cents or my 5 cents.
It's more than that. Come on.
Thank you
no,
very
it is.
much.
I think No, it's great, and I think it's an important question because there's people all over who are just shifting in what they want to do, and whether it's in this salon or in an office job they're doing, and yeah, I think we shouldn't be afraid of it and just help them grow.
Yes, help them grow, help them move on if they want to move on, and at the end of the day, also ask them how we can improve. Because if we want our salon to improve, we want to hear ideas. And one thing we were discussing with Sophia as we're preparing for a webinar with the European University in Nicosia, she said, one of the things I like about you is that you always ask from 1 to 10, how do you rate me? And if you give me a 9 or an 8, I will ask you, how can I get to 10? So I want to improve. So whilst they're reflecting and whilst they were moving on or staying, ask them, how can our salon improve? How can Savia improve? And get ideas from everyone, even the ones who are leaving.
That feedback, absolutely. Whether it's from employees or customers, it's just gives growth on every level, I think.
Yes, that's true. Thank you very, very much. If you don't have a follow-up question, thank you very, very much for coming up.
Thank you, Michael.
And hope to see you soon, Savia, and hope we meet in person as well. I would love that.
Same here. Same here.
Take good care. Take good care.
You too.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
So, Sophia.
One more question we have from Fodi from London. I will put him on.
Thank you very much. Fodi, welcome to the On Air Mentoring, my friend.
Good morning, Michael. Thanks ever so much for having me on.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Just tell the world who you are, what you do, and what your question is.
Absolutely. Thanks, Michael. So my name is Fodi Kyriakos. I'm a director of services in a diagnostic imaging service. I look after the sales for what they would call sort of capacity support for imaging services in the UK. So NHS, National Health Service, and private imaging centres. What I do is deliver support for areas such as early diagnosis for cancers and so on. So my customer base is hospital managers, particularly within radiology and imaging. So that's my background. I've worked in healthcare sales for 20 years, and my question, Michael, I wanted to raise with you this morning is I've been very much used to face-to-face sales. So there's very much there's a high number of people that would work in a sort of sales environment that where they're best suited to working face-to-face. So that's been my background. Since the pandemic, what's been sort of developing, obviously, like most of the sales world, is we've had to go virtual. So I've looked at it and gone, we have adapt and we have accept. So I've actually found adapting to the virtual world of meetings with my customers quite easy. I've quite straightforward, go into it. What has been slightly trickier for me is to accept that this is the way that it's going to be long term, or is this a short to medium thing, or are people's behaviours going to be that this is where we're going to be for the long term? So I guess my question would be is, whilst agile people will adapt to the environments quicker, should we now be accepting virtual meetings will be the way forward for time to come, even after the current phase of the pandemic? And do you, Michael, sort of envisage that people's behaviours will be moving back to things like face-to-face selling quickly, or should we prepare ourselves to accept that the virtual meeting world is where we're going to be for a while to come, and then make the most out of that type of selling environment? So that's my question.
Great question. Great question. Thank you for the introduction. Crystal clear. Let me first and foremost say that whatever I say, this is exactly what I say to all of my mentees. Forget, stop longing for what was in the past. Start looking at the reality, at the new normal. What we have in front of us is what we need to deal with. We have the skills for the past, and you do have the skills. You seem very experienced as a salesperson, as a trusted advisor, but we need to deal with what's in front of us. I'm not going to be longing for the past. If the past comes back, so be it. I prefer face-to-face. We can build better rapport face-to-face. The older generation, I'm talking about myself, but if you want to include yourself as well there, you can. So we need to stop longing for what was in the past. We need to deal with what's in the present. The good news is that 40 Kyriakos could only meet with 5 people per day or 7, especially in London, maybe 3. Now 40 Kyriakos can meet with 17 people per day. So what does 40 Kyriakos need to do? First and foremost, he needs to have our checklist. And if anyone is interested in getting our checklist, including 40 Kyriakos, please email us at sofia@michaelvirardi.com. And you need a checklist. For example, you need your lighting to be exactly opposite you. You see, lighting opposite. If you remember when Doros came up, it was a bit dark. So Doros needs his lighting, because Doros will not only go on an on-air mentoring, but Doros will go on a call with a customer. If it's too dark, and I know Doros is an amazing character, and face-to-face, he wins you over. He won me over 9 years ago, and we're still working together with almost all of our artwork, 95%. So by getting a light and putting it exactly opposite you, let me show you just to see. I cannot take it out now because it's gonna, the Ethernet will take out. But by putting a light exactly opposite you, it will shine much better. Secondly, you need to have a microphone. It's very important to have your voice coming out crystal clear. Thirdly, if you look outside that door, it says live streaming from 12 to 12:30. Please do not knock or enter. I hope my mother doesn't come in now, because then whatever I'm saying, it's going to go out of the window. Okay. And it's very, very important to prepare yourself. People see you from here to here. You need to face forward, not lean back and talk like this. Forward, like all of our guests were. And your intonation will play a huge part rather than your handshake. Your intonation will be your handshake. You will be brushing and stroking with your the way your voice comes out and comes across. So 40 Kyriakos, the good news is you can reach more people. The not so good news is that you cannot reach them face to face, but you can make exceptions for some new clients, some prospects that is worth connecting, to go face to face and meet them, as restrictions ease, and by the use of masks and whatever we are obligated to wear, and you can meet with people face to face.
Thank you, Michael. I think that's I think all of that resonates, and I think the big thing is actually what you mentioned at the beginning, which was accepting this, where we are. Don't look too much in the back, because you'll end up being one of these laggards that may live in the past and tell all of those sort of wartime stories. And so no, that's really, really useful. Thank you ever so much.
Exactly. It's a pleasure. Thank you for connecting. Pleasure having you on here. And let's go back to Sophia. Thank you very much for it.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Sophia, any announcements, newsletters coming up, Monday, Jumpstart Monday, whatever? What do we need? What do people need to know?
So like every week, we will see you again here on Monday at 10:25 Eastern European time with the Jumpstart Monday, where we will be talking about educational resources to jumpstart your week. And on Wednesday, we will be releasing our newsletter. If you want to subscribe, just email me here. I put my email before, Sofia@MichaelVirardi, or Michael if you prefer to email Michael. And that's it. And yes, if you want a checklist for your virtual meetings, again, email me and I will send it to you.
Thank you very much, Sophia. Thank you very much to all of our guests, Doros, Savia, and Fodi. Thank you to all of you for being present, and looking very much forward to seeing you this Monday. Feel free to share this episode. We will appreciate it very much. Take good care. Have a pleasant week. Bye.